Clarissa Austin. She's an entrepreneur, a small business owner who recently opened a franchise business in the automotive service industry. So we're very excited to have a conversation and talk more about what it's like to purchase a franchise, to start a new business in this way. And Clarissa, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. So the first question that we had for you, we wanted to know what inspired you to consider buying the franchise in the first place rather than just starting the business from scratch.
I was looking at doing an industry that I didn't have a ton of experience in. Definitely haven't managed in this industry, but knew enough that I probably could. Was like, I can make this happen. I wanted a little extra support though, and that's why with the franchise route, it has a lot of those have a nationwide presence and training and support there, and that's something that I really felt like I needed versus going and starting the business completely from scratch on my own.
And Clarissa, what industry did you start this business in?
Automotive repair.
Okay.
So maintenance, all the way from like changing out your engine to changing your oil, all of it.
Okay. And did you have any experience in automotive mechanics?
No, not really. Just the piddling around the house. My husband and I have changed the engine in his Jeep before. So I knew a little bit, but just enough to get into trouble and not enough to actually help someone.
Okay. All right. So tell us about your discovery, how you chose the specific franchise that you chose, and what due diligence you did. Kind of walk us through the process.
Okay. I had looked at a couple different franchises over probably a span of 3 to 5 years, just kind of piddling with the idea. And then for this particular one, it's Meineke Car Care. I saw them on a listing on a local business page. And so I requested more information. And so just getting to have lots of meetings with them and getting to chat with them, it was just a good fit. It brought together a lot of other skills and background that I have. And they were looking for people who had the business side of things and were willing to bring in other people for the parts they didn't know, like the mechanics and the technicians. So it was just lots of great conversations with their team. I got to talk to other franchisees through that process. Also, did a lot of reading and lots of looking at different reviews from other owners and customers, kind of seeing what's the general feel and what do people think about this company and this brand.
Okay. And did you have to have any qualifications, any certifications in order to be accepted by this franchise?
They did want a background in business. They did want you to have some experience in that. And so that way it wasn't a complete shock to you whenever you're opening up this franchise location. So that I did have, and they had a couple of other things. Honestly, I don't remember what they were offhand now.
And tell us a little bit about your background in business that prepared you for this.
Okay. Yeah. I worked for my dad for 12 years in his trucking company, and I ran all the business side of his trucking company. So everything from figuring out insurance things to doing invoicing to the budget, everything on the business side, I handled all of that.
Okay.
So you mentioned that you have a little bit more support because it's, through a franchise. What kind of support, I guess, do they have out there available for you?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So I have a dedicated coach for the Texas area that I can pick up the phone and call at any point in time. Like, hey, I don't know what's going on here or how to handle this situation. And he's always available. I can give him a call and be like, hey, I need some help here. He'll also come in and do some trainings with my staff if I need that to happen. And also Meineke themselves has a whole dedicated trainer that puts out a lot of great programs that I have access to anytime I need it. And then also I can call up other owners and talk to them. The owners group has been really fantastic. There's a lot of ones that aren't too far from me that I know I can call up at any point in time. They're all like, hey, here's my number. Give me a call if you have any questions.
Nice. And so usually like starting a franchise would require maybe a lot of upfront costs. So how did that work for you? Did you save up for a long time or did you get a loan? How did you kind of get that capital to get started?
Yeah, it was a mixture of both. So my dad is also a partner with me in this, or actually both my parents are a partner with me in this. And so had some of the initial funds saved up between me and my parents, but then also we went the route of doing an SBA loan, and we got that set up through there for the rest of the funds.
Awesome. And the SBA loans are usually pretty business friendly, right? They have lower interest rates.
Yes. And the bank that I used was Live Oak Bank, and they had a lot of great support. I will say I was overwhelmed at first. The thought of doing an SBA loan, it seemed like a lot, and they were able to walk me through the entire process, and it was not scary and overwhelming at all. It was actually a lot simpler than I thought it was going to be, and there was a lot of good support there.
And Clarissa, can you share with us your interest rate on the SBA loan?
Currently 10.25, I think.
Okay, is that a variable?
It is variable. That's why I'm questioning it a little bit, what it was, and I looked at it. It is variable though, yes.
And it resets every year?
Yes.
Okay. And then are you able to share with us your approximate startup cost, like between getting the loan and getting in? What did it cost to get into this franchise? Under 500,
I would say right about 500,000 right
Okay.
now. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say that I had I was having a conversation with the owner before doing this, and he said, whatever you think the startup cost is going to be, double it. Great advice. So
Right.
I'm thankful I listened to what he said with that.
Good.
So if you could take us back maybe to the first few months after you first opened the doors, what would you say were some of the biggest challenges that you had, or just like new things to learn as you kind of dove in head first?
Oh gosh, it seems like yesterday and like so long ago all at the same time. The biggest thing is like I didn't know what I didn't know, so I was constantly like, I don't know these things, let's figure it out. And problem solving thing, I had to learn the system that we use to track everything, keep up with everything is Techmetrics. It's very common in the automotive industry. And so I had to learn that system completely, like what it's capable of, what it can do, what settings I need to have. And then on top of learning what my local market was, I had a good idea of who our customers were, but just kind of honing that in and figuring that out. On top of the hiring side, making sure we have technicians in the shop able to do the repairs and making sure they're trained and they have the tools and the equipment and the skills that they need for that.
And Clarissa, what has surprised you the most? You said there were a lot of things that you didn't know. What was probably the biggest surprise of something you just weren't expecting?
I think it's probably just there's a lot of smaller equipment that I didn't have. I had a great equipment list from Meineke that I was able to work off of, but there was a lot of smaller things that didn't make it on the list. So being like, oh, I need this, or oh, I need that. Even yesterday I was ordering a part that I was like, oh, we need that in the shop too. And that's been the most surprising. I'm like, okay, making sure I have all the equipment and everything's set up, and so my technicians can do the repairs needed. I definitely, round 2 would be a whole lot easier now. I know.
And what about cash flow? How long are you expecting it to take you for positive cash flow from the day you made your first payment or the day you signed the loan agreement to positive cash flow? What were you expecting, and do you think you're still on track for that?
My expectations were very high, so that's me for sure. And so it did take longer than I expected it to. I will say right about that year mark is when it finally felt like, oh, okay, this is working. This is gonna work. It's gonna be okay.
It's pretty quick for a new business.
Yes, it is. So again, like I had higher expectations than that, but that wasn't realistic, I don't think. So surprising things is learning to live in reality. Like, okay, this is what it actually is, even though like, oh, I think I can do this, but definitely the reality check of that has been good.
And what about the time commitment versus what you expected?
I think it's about what I expected. Coming from a smaller business into this one and having some of the entrepreneur background all throughout the family, I've seen it. It was not any surprise to me. It's a lot of long hours, a lot of stress. If you're starting a business, it's a lot. That is the reality of it. I think it's worth it. I love it, but it is a lot. It's not for everyone, but if you're willing to commit to it and do the grind.
40 hours, 60 hours, 80 hours a week.
Probably 60. Yeah, it depends on the week, but I would say probably about 60. Lots of lack of sleep. I will say the 1 year mark has definitely been, like I said, a relief. It's definitely better now. Things are stabilized. I have a great manager. That is one thing I'll have to say, like coming into this, not having a background of, my manager was a technician himself who did then transitioned over to an advisor, then transitioned over to an actual manager. And then a couple of years later, I brought him on with me, and he's fabulous. So he's definitely been a lifesaver. Having a good manager, having a good team that knows what they're doing is my lifeline.
And how are you finding your team members?
Mostly it's a website called Career Plug, and they do postings on LinkedIn and Indeed and all the local job boards they can find. That's been my best way to be able to find employees. Also, just kind of in this industry, it's word of mouth. Like a technician's worked with another technician at another shop at some point, and they're like, oh, he'd be a good fit here. And so they'll call their buddy up and be like, hey, you need to come apply. And so those are the best ways that I've found.
So overall, you feel like you needed to make sure you had plenty of financing. Whatever you're expecting the cost to be, you want to double that. That takes away all the stress of coming up short while you're waiting to cash flow.
Yes.
And then in addition to that, it seems like your second priority is just building the right team. Is that right?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, the team makes a difference. You want to hire slow and fire fast. It makes all the difference. If you have someone who's not good at customer service in a customer service role, like that it's not a good fit. It's not a good fit for your team or your customers. The same thing with technicians. You need someone who knows what they're doing back there, because if you don't know what you're doing, you need them to know it and need to be able to have that trust built with them to handle whatever the issue is.
And what do you think about franchise versus just starting a business from scratch?
I think it really depends on who you are and your background. If you are someone who already kind of has something going with automotive, for this industry specifically, if you're already a technician, you kind of already built up a little bit of clientele, I think you should try to do it without being a franchise. Open up your own shop and see how that goes. From not having the experience with the background I came from in this industry, has been fantastic. Everything from they do a great national marketing campaign that they do to just having the support and the training that they offer has been very helpful.
So do you have to do a lot of your own advertising, or is a lot of that taken care of because of being part of the franchise?
With the franchise, they do a lot of nationwide marketing. They'll do a lot of I do extra stuff like social media posts. I'm on a local radio station. There are some other things that I've kind of like honed in on. I do have some marketing background, so I'm kind of particular about things also. I want them done a certain way. I'm about to launch into actually doing a lot more social media videos and reels and things like that.
Okay.
So it's both sides. It's actually up to the owners if they want to do more local stuff or if they just want to keep it what the franchise does. Like I said, I'm a little more particular, so I'm definitely diving into it a little more myself.
And Clarissa, what are your plans for this business? Or are you planning to buy and hold for 5 years or 10 years, or is this a lifetime?
I am up in the air. Currently, I'm on a good probably 8-year plan, 8 to 10 year plan is where we're at, and then reevaluate once we get there.
Okay, and what's your target investment return that you after say 10 years?
For exit strategy, I'd like to be at around 2.5x.
Okay. Well, that sounds awesome. Do you have any advice for somebody who is considering a franchise?
Yeah, definitely. Do your research, look into it, see if it's a franchise you'd even use. Is this somewhere you go? Is this somewhere that you need? Does your community need it? That's the first steps into looking at that to see what the need is and what the customer base is. And then do lots of research, if you can, talk to owners, have those discussions with them, and just really do your due diligence and dive into the brand and who it is and what it is.
Okay, that sounds great. And Clarissa, for our viewers, where can they find out more about this business and how could they reach you?
Okay, definitely. You can find the actual location at Meineke.com. We are in Midland, Texas. We're the only location there, so we're easy to find. And then also I am on LinkedIn as Clarissa Austin.
Great.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks so much for joining. Yeah, this was interesting. Kind of hearing the difference between franchise versus just starting it yourself. Definitely pros and cons, I guess, each way. So it's very interesting to hear the differences.
Yeah, definitely.